All right, welcome to Jonesycast. I'm Jonesy. This is the cast. Basically, what I do is go through Reddit posts in relationship advice, dating advice, etc., and do video responses. Like and subscribe if you want. If you don't, well, sweet. Hey, we're on dating advice posted by user Super Spiral 28 minutes ago. Want to date again but can't. Female 39. So basically, I'm going to put the link in the description for anyone who wants to read the post. My female 39 last relationship ended really badly about 6 years ago. Ever since then, I've had real trouble dating. Like, I want to look at new relationships, but every time I talk to a guy and it starts looking like we might like each other, I freak out and drop contact. I also feel like I'm too old, fat, and ugly to date again, and I'm worried that when I talk to people online, they are going to be really disappointed when they meet me face to face. How do I start dating again? Okay, so here's the deal. You're female, you're 39. I can get that. I'm 33, and I get that when you got a 3 on the front of your age, you feel like a used car. You know, me a little bit less because I'm male, so we just have that advantage. I'm not going to deny it, but here we are, right? And I think you feel that for the fact that you are a 39-year-old woman and you feel like used goods or damaged goods or like a secondhand car with a few dents in there, yeah. Um, but I honestly I wouldn't feel like that because the truth is that first of all, you can change to be better, and you can meet a guy that is worth having. Okay, so let's go through this. My last relationship ended really badly about 6 years ago. God damn, that's a long time. When you were 33. Ever since then, I've had real trouble dating. I want to look at new relationships. Every time I talk and it starts looking... So every time you get to the edge, you panic, right? I can understand that. I don't have that issue, but I definitely understand it. I also feel like I'm... Now, actually, before we get to the second part, I freak out and drop contact. That's what you need to sort out, okay? If I was in your position and I felt like that, I would seek help. Go to a counselor, go to a psychologist or a therapist if you have the money. If you don't, see if you can get some free services. Now, that's not because you're going to find a solution in the mind of the counselor. What it's for is so that you can talk to someone about it, you can articulate it, you can process it. And the way that a lot of people, and definitely women, process information and articulate it and understand it within themselves is to talk about it. Okay. You need to understand yourself. You're 39 and people would normally say that by then you should understand yourself, but I wouldn't say that. I mean, you got people in their 50s acting like children in Walmart, and it's because they've never tried to understand themselves. They've just coasted along in life on the momentum of their past. Okay. So that's what I would sort out, your confidence, because it looks like if it ended really badly, there was maybe abuse there. There was maybe gaslighting, guilt tripping, physical abuse, maybe sexual, psychological, financial abuse, whatever. You know, like that shit really does damage to us, because what it does is it stops us from understanding and remembering in the moment that not everyone is like that. Okay. That there are some good men out there. There really are some good men. Okay. They are, in a sense, few and far between because they get taken, right? But there are some good men. But that's what you need to sort out. That issue, number one. The issue that you have is that you are afraid of the bad things that could happen. Okay. And you are right to be afraid in a sense because they can happen. But what you need to do is integrate those understandings that bad things can happen so they are not overbearing fears that stop you. Okay. Because the truth is, anything can go wrong at any time. I ride a motorcycle, and anything can go wrong at any time, but I still ride that motorcycle. You know, and I've gone down 6 times. I've had 6 motorcycle accidents, right? One of which I ended up in hospital. And as soon as I got the money back, I got straight back on the bike, because otherwise my fears would control me, and I knew it. My best mate tells me, he goes, you need to get back on the horse. You need to get back on the horse. Okay. So if I was you, I would try to get back on the horse, but to do that, you're going to have to sort out those issues within yourself. Okay. Look online for books that you can read regarding self-improvement. Okay. Because, and this leads to my second point. I also feel like I'm too old, fat, and ugly to date again. And I'm worried that when I talk to people online, they're going to be really disappointed when they meet me face to face. The only time that happens is if you catfish them. Getting catfished means, in my context, I'm looking at a girl's photos and they're really good, and then I meet her and she looks like a whale, right? It's harsh, but catfishing happens. Don't dole up your photos. Don't put all these bullshit filters on there, okay? And here's why. Because if you're on a dating app and you put real photos on, the guys that you get are going to be willing to have a conversation with you. And they're not going to be disappointed when they see you. Get a real photo, but before you do that, here's what I would do. Go to the gym, start working out, and really improve yourself. Not just to look better for them or feel like, it's mainly so that you feel better. It gives you more confidence. You're like, you finish at the gym and you go home, and after 6 weeks, you've lost, maybe 10 pounds, whatever. You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to have more confidence. It just will happen, right? Too old? You're not too old. Throw that idea out. Fuck, don't worry about that idea, okay? Too fat? Again, you need to start improving that. If that is true, you need to start improving that. Not just for the image, but for your health, okay? And that will give you confidence. Ugly? I mean, I know some dudes that look like feet, and they've got a banging hot girlfriend. I know some chicks that, they look like the back end of a horse, and they've got a dime piece boyfriend, because there's something else about them. It's not just looks. Now, I do understand, though, that first impressions make all the difference. Okay. So if I was in your position, I would, number one, work out my issues with the fear of dating. You may need to do that with someone, but you can do that. Okay. Number two, the old, you're not too old. Don't worry about that idea. Fuck that idea. Okay. Because, I know people in their 40s, 50s, and maybe even 60s that are getting into new relationships. Fat, that's changeable. Okay. Now, you may have a body structure where you slim down a bit, but you've got a big bone structure. That's fine. That's fine. As long as it looks like you are maintaining yourself, like you are giving yourself maintenance, okay? That you're taking pride in that which you have. You don't have to be built like Elle Macpherson. What you have to do is take care of what you have, okay? And ugly? I wouldn't really worry about that either. I mean, as long as you're not deceitful in your photos online, what will happen is you will not know about and select out all the guys that don't like the look of you. And who cares? There's a lot of girls that don't like the look of me, and I don't care because fuck them, right? Whatever, so what you will get if you don't lie in your photos, if you are doing online dating, is guys that see you for what you are and are willing to accept it. Now, here's what you also have to remember with online dating. It's all a numbers game. If you get 100, if you do 100 right swipes, you swipe right, you do 100 of those, 50 of them will have a conversation. 25 of them will go to a decent conversation. 12 of them will go to a date. Maybe 3 of them will go to a second date. 6 of them will go to a second date. 3 of them will be a good bloke that you're willing. And then one of them out of 100 initial, one of them will be the one that you end up with. Okay. So don't be too hard on yourself. If you feel that you're too fat and ugly and old, that's a subjective opinion. I guarantee you there's a guy out there. I guarantee you, just by doing the numbers, that there's a guy out there that is willing to date you and love you for who you are. As long as you're a decent person that takes care of yourself and takes care of others, you know. But before all that, the first thing I would say is you need to write down a few things. And I mean, write them down, because if you don't, all of these thoughts and knowledge that you have will get lost in the ether. That is your mind. It's just because you're human. Okay. Write down what you want in a relationship, what you don't want in a relationship. And I would use the reference of your last to inform that, what you don't want, what you do want in a man and what you don't want in a man, what you do want in yourself in that relationship and yourself in general, and what you don't want in a relationship as yourself and in general. Okay. Once you write down all those things, what you can do when you meet a guy is, compare him to the list. Now, again, these aren't my standards. These are your standards because they're written by you. I'm just telling you to write them down. And the reason I say, again, write them down is because this will be the compass if things go wrong. And you're in a relationship, so they'll go wrong. That's just the definition of a relationship, right? Because you've got two people with individual wills that are trying to get what they want, right? So that's what I would do. Write down what you want. Go work on yourself. Don't lie on your photos. And sort out your fear with someone to help you of relationships. Look, I hope it goes well, and I think it can. Good luck.